It's my bride Marisia and it's her civil wedding day. Marisia booked me from the UK and she took me all the way to Tama to get her ready for her civil wedding. So when I got to her apartment, I had a bit of consultation with her to get to know her skin type and the look she wanted. She requested for matte eyes with glossy lips. During the consultation, I got to know her skin type, so then I'm prepping her skin for combination skin. At this point, I'm going in with a hydrating shimmer. This one is cucumber and mango infused. I let it sit on her face for about some 5 minutes and then I took it out. So taking it out, I'm going to use my hands to massage the excess hydration onto her skin. Using the hand, I tend to see that it's more effective, so then I use my hands to just massage that excess hydration onto her skin. Then I proceeded to moisturize. I'm using the Embryolisse moisturizer. I use a good amount of moisturizer for her skin, and I'm using the flat brush to massage that excess moisturizer onto her skin very well. Use the fan to let it dry. Then I use the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream for her under eyes only because under eyes tend to be dry. So for brides, I use that moisturizer for their under eyes only. So thereafter, I proceeded to add the oil control toner on her T-zones only, that is her forehead, her chin, and then her nose, and on top of her mouth as well. So for her primer, I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. It's a very mattifying and pore blurring primer. As you can see, it instantly blurs pores and then it's very mattifying. So I use it on her T-zones again. Then that was it for her skin prep. So I proceeded to then add the foundation. So for her foundation, I'm using the Estee Lauder in Pecan and then Maple mixed together. And then I use the Milk Makeup Spray to lock it in and then also to enhance the blendability. Then I went ahead to use the Damn Beauty sponge to blend the foundation onto her skin. Notice that her face is a bit darker than her chest. So during the consultation, I asked her and she said it was okay for me to put foundation on her neck. Some clients do not want foundation on their neck, but for her case, she asked for it, so I did that to match her face to her chest and the rest of her body. So you can just see how seamless that look. Her face matches her body and then her neck with the extra foundation I had to put there. So after blending the foundation, I went ahead to use the same Milk Makeup Spray all over her face and I went to add blush onto her face. For blush, I'm using the Rare Beauty in Grateful and then another color from my lip palette. I mix it together and then I use that as blush to warm up her skin and bring color back onto her skin. So for her concealer, I'm using the Too Faced Bondi Square in Butterscotch to brighten her under eyes, her chin, her forehead, and also the bridge of her nose. I proceeded to then blend the concealer. The concealer has a very nice coverage and it gave the sat brightening effect I wanted for her look. So I really loved it for that. So after blending out the concealer, I used the other side of the beauty sponge just to remove harsh line. The blush and then the concealer, that harsh line, I had to remove it with the beauty sponge and I'm contouring. So for her contour, I'm going a bit higher than I would normally go for most clients because I want her face to have a very slim, snatch looking effect. So I used the contour that way and I put a bit on her forehead as well. And then I used the beauty sponge to go over her entire face once more. And then I had to go in to do another stage of contouring for her using a brush that is for her under the chin, the size of under the chin, just to give it the chisel looking effect. I did that, then I blended it and even the size of her chin as well. So after that was completed, I had to go in to remove excess harsh lines that were formed and then her base was completed. I removed the harsh lines again with the beauty sponge. Then I proceeded to contour. So her nose is actually very nice. She's got very nice nose. But then I had to contour a little bit starting from the brow bone. I formed a V shape and I dragged it a little bit onto the sides of the nose and then I had to use the beauty sponge. So every time I use a brush, I had to go over with a beauty sponge. Then to lock in her base, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter Setting Spray all over the face to lock in that base and then that was it. So at this point, she already knew the drill, so we had to fan. I asked her to look up, and then I removed creases in the concealer before setting, because we are not about to set any creases. So to set her under eyes, I'm using the Fenty Beauty powder in number 310 to set the concealer with a brush. Then I proceeded to do the under eyes and then also the forehead with the same powder, but I think I used more under the eyes than the forehead. So thereafter I proceeded to use a baking powder. So sorry, my camera stopped working, but then I used the Huda Beauty powder in Kunafa and La Mercier in translucent for her baking, and then I did her matte eyes. Her brows came out so beautiful, like they were gorgeous. And I normally do eyeshadow before brows, so then I'm using a fluffy brush to just blend out the harsh lines between the eyeshadow and then the concealer that I used to highlight her brow bone. I extended the tail of the brow a little bit with a Davis pencil, and then I proceeded to outline her lash line. Notice that she already has lash extensions, and working with eyeshadow on someone who already has lash extensions can be a bit tricky, but I didn't use eyeshadows that had a lot of fallout, so then her lashes were safe. I pulled it down a little bit and I used a gel liner to line the lash line. I did a half liner, then I used the eyeshadow. Like you can see, it's a half liner, but then it came out really nice. I did the same for the second eye. I'm using the Inglot gel liner in number 77 to outline her lash line. I blended it out. Then to enhance that color, I had to go in with a black eyeshadow to set that gel liner and also smudge it at the end of the eyeshadow. I did same for the other eye, and then I proceeded to use the same gel liner to line her waterline. So at this point, we were contemplating if she could tear up, but then we had to do a bit of tricks that I asked my clients to do, and then once she did that, we were safe. And then she was like, oh, she would make me proud, like she would not have any teary eyes. So when I was doing her makeup, she said that her face didn't feel heavy at all, and that was something that I was really impressed about, and I was grateful. So at this point, I was asking her if it's okay for me to overline her lips a little bit, because one thing about people with smaller lips, if you overline their lips a little bit, it turns out very beautiful. So when I asked her, she said it was okay for me to overline her lips a little bit, not too much, so I just did just enough to still give a very cute looking lips. So basically that was what I was using. I'm using the Avoir lip stain, I forgot the number, it's a brown lip stain, to just outline the lip, and then I proceeded to blend it out. So for the center part of the lips, I'm using the lip stick from Sopro Cosmetics and again Avoir Cosmetics for the center part. Those two brands are very good lip products. I blended it out, and then this was how her matte base came out for the lip. Then I used a fluffy brush to blend out the lip products very well, and then I proceeded to clean out the edges. So this step can be optional, but for me, I think cleaning out the edges of the lips can make a whole lot of difference. You can just see, like, it gives it this sharp looking effect, and I really like it. I blended out that, and then I used the brush to remove the excess powder all over her face. Her exact powder shade was Fenty in number 400, and this was at the stage where Morphe is about to shine. Like, look at that melt. I don't know what they put in this spray, but it gets the job done all the time. Instant melt. So we used the fan all over her face, and then that was it for the skin work. So then this was how she looked before I did her makeup. Like you can see, her face has more melanin than her chest and the rest of her body, so I did the makeup to match up her body. So this was her after. Like, look at her, it's screaming luxury. Her makeup look came out so nice. She got her glossy lips and then the matte eyes. Her skin has this soft glow. Mind you, I didn't use any shiny highlighter or anything, just the soft glow coming from the matte look that we created. July to December brides, I'm available for booking. Book me for your event, book me for your wedding. I have one-on-one classes for people who want to learn from me, and I also take home service and walk-in bookings as well. My number is in the bio. Give me a follow, like and share. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.